What's up, everyone? Look, I'm coming to you live today because ETH is about to approach its massive multi-year resistance level around $4,000. But here's the thing, everyone's been waiting for a pullback to buy, and the pullbacks have been ridiculously shallow. And when I see pullbacks this shallow with FOMO buyers jumping in at every tiny dip, it tells me a story. It tells me that the longer term investors who are waiting for that deeper pullback might either miss out completely or have to wait a lot longer than they think. Plus, we've got FOMC tomorrow, and that's not the only market moving event this week. Friday brings us NFP, one of the most market moving events of the month, plus a ton of earnings reports coming out. We need to be on high alert literally every single day this week, because any one of these events could be the catalyst that finally gives us that deeper correction that everybody has been waiting for. So let's dive into some charts. Let's talk about what to watch for and cover the question on everyone's lips. Are we actually in alt season? Now, if you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm Annie, and this is Trade Travel Chill. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button right now if you're not already subscribed, because it really helps YouTube share this video out to more people, especially whilst we're live. All right, so let me know in the comments, are you ready to get right into the ETH chart? I'm going to cover other alts as well. But of course, if everyone cares about alt season, we have to start with ETH. Let me see who I can see in the chat so far. Who have I got here? GM, lots of GMs for everyone. Hey, TTC, I can see D, Sander, Claudia. Awesome. Good to see you guys here. Thanks for turning up. Okay, now I know what somebody is going to say in the comments. You're going to make a comment about my audio, and I know, but guys, I just want to be a trader. I don't want to be a sound technician. I don't know what the problem is. It's like, if I talk to you this way and then I talk this way, it doesn't pick it up. So let's just get over that and let's just make some money, okay? Deal? Is that a deal? Forgive me for not being an expert in everything. All right, so as you can see on my chart here, this is my ideal play for Ethereum. And I'm still hoping for this play, but until Ethereum actually starts to top out, we can't really decide where this pullback range might be. Audio is excellent. Thank you. Sounds good. Sounds good for now. Sounds good for now. Wait till I turn my head. But there's a few things about this. Look, first we have to go down to smaller time frames, but let's just stay on the daily for now, because you may notice these two pink lines that I have here. Now, these are high level short orders that I found in the heat maps earlier. So there's this order here, 13.7 at 3,900. So these are shorts waiting to short if the price gets back to 3,900. And then we also have 22.4K waiting at 4,000. So when you put those levels on your chart, you'll see here that they line up basically exactly with the 127 Fibonacci range from the trend-based fibs. So basically what that means is that if you're thinking this is an Elliott wave, then we're still in this is wave 1, 2, 3. So we're still in 3, and we're really just waiting to see where 3 gets exhausted. And it might be that it'll be somewhere around the 127. Like, it can be anywhere from where the price is right now, because we're above the 100%, right? But you just want to combine it with other factors. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you just want to combine it with other factors. So the fact that we've got the shorts there, it's a key resistance. So of course there's going to be shorts there, right? Like, of course people are going to short resistance. So anyway, look, this is my ideal scenario, but I'm not 100% sure if ETH is finished yet and the pullback will start. But like I said, there's so many news events happening this week that any one of them could trigger it. And if we eventually do start, like, who cares where it goes, but if it eventually does start to pull back, then I'm still looking for now at this entry range at 3,100 to 3,425. Obviously, I have to reassess that when the price actually starts to pull back. This is just an idea in advance of that. But until we actually do top out, I really can't say if we're going to pull back that far. So yeah, I'm keeping you updated along the way. You know, I'd like to see in like a range like this, as I've mentioned before, that'd be great. And, you know, it'd be a good opportunity because I do think that from there we will break out to all-time high. So let's have a look at a lower time frame then. Annie, I'd still follow your channel even if I had to lip read every word. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at a 4-hour time frame. This has the potential to be a rising bearish wedge, which usually, let's see if we can see if you can see your counts. So on the 4-hour time frame, wait, let me draw this out. I don't want to spend too much time on ETH because I know you probably want to talk more about other alts, but it is necessary for me to give you an idea. So this is the peak formation bottom down here, right? And then we're looking, sorry, we're looking for our, sorry guys, we're looking for our rises. At the end of the rises, it's possible that what's happening on the 4-hour is a rising bearish wedge. Now, I say possible because I don't think it's complete yet. So there could be another touch to the oh, look at that. Look at that. Did you see what I just saw? If there's another touch to the top here, it's going to come into these short orders. And that may be where we then see a correction. That would be really delicious, actually. And look, again, might be around news events. So I'd be looking out for this sort of a play. Not really interested in shorting it personally. I'm more interested in getting some nice long-term kind of, you know, buys really for the last, or well, maybe not the last, but the latter part of the cycle. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking out for anyway. It doesn't look done yet, but it may be done soon. Someone says Pepe is dying. Well, we might take a look at that. So is there anything else I wanted to tell you about that? I think, no. So I think like on the surface, I think ETH is bullish and in the short term it is, but the problem is we've had all these shallow pullbacks, right? So everyone's waiting for a pullback to get in on ETH. And you look here, like there's hardly, now we know why, because now we've just found out that we're in this rising bearish wedge, but we've had this, like this is the most we've got. These are just, you know, even like now, you know, very, very small pullbacks. So this is showing you that any kind of small pullback is where basically people without patience are just willing to buy because they don't think they're going to get any deeper of a pullback. And that can be pretty, what do you call it? It's basically a leading indicator of what might come next, because these types of people who are buying these shallow dips, they're scared of missing out and they're not waiting for the proper pullbacks. So what it means is that for now, the patient longer term investors who are waiting for like 15, 20% pullbacks, and they really want to load up there, they're either going to just miss the boat entirely. I don't think so, based on what we've just drawn up, or they're just going to have to wait a lot longer, which is what I think is a bit more likely. So do I think we'll get a deeper pullback eventually? Yeah, absolutely. Looking at this, I do. But it's just probably going to take one or two things. What are those two things? Either it's going to be a major news event that catches everyone off guard, or it's going to be an over-leveraged market that gets everyone squeezed. So then the question becomes, well, how do we watch for those conditions? So there's two key things that I'm monitoring. And one of those things, first of all, is leverage. I keep a close eye on sites like CoinGlass and Coinalyze for open interest and leverage ratios, because when everyone's long and leveraged, that's when we get those like really violent pullbacks. I'll show you in a second what to look out for. The second is funding rates. And when the funding rates get extremely high, it means that there's too much long bias in the market, and that usually precedes a correction. So if we have a high positive funding rate, it means that there's a large number of traders that are aggressively taking long positions in the perpetual futures market. They're willing to pay a premium to hold their long positions, and that will eventually cause the futures price to become significantly higher than the spot price. And when that happens, if it starts to happen for too long, it means that the market is too far stretched in one direction, and that's when we see the pullback. So that's why it's really important to monitor those sorts of things. Then for the second indicator being like news events, I monitor Forex Factory and also Business Insider because we need to know every single market moving event this week, not just the FOMC. So speaking of events, let's talk about this week. Everyone's focused on FOMC tomorrow, but that's not the only thing that could move the markets. For the FOMC tomorrow, the overwhelming consensus, I think I have something here to show you. Let me see. Hang on. Yes, here. So the overwhelming consensus is a hold at 4.25 to 4.5%. We're talking, what is this on? 96.8 right now, right? So that's a 96.8% probability. So basically baked in, right? That's the moral of the story, is basically baked in. The real action will be in Powell's press conference. So if he sounds dovish, meaning he's more open to future cuts, that's generally good for risk assets like crypto. But if he sounds hawkish and cautious about cutting rates, that could give us a bit of short-term pressure. But here's a key point. FOMC might not be the event that triggers our pullback. We've got other data releases, like I said, all week long. So have a look at this, for example. All of these red folders, we've literally got something every day, and any one of these could be a trigger, not to mention a million earning reports right here. So we've got Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Visa, MasterCard. No, none of these are happening. No, it's the 29th. So this is all from, Visa may have already happened, or maybe it's happening today. But look, look how much we've got, right? So we've got a lot of earning reports. We've got a lot of news events. And this is why I'm saying that we need to be on alert every single day this week, not just tomorrow for FOMC, but literally every day, because one surprise data point, like one unexpected development, we could get that deeper pullback that, well, hopefully everyone's waiting for. Hopefully the smart traders are waiting for, right? So let's talk about altcoins, because this is where it gets a little bit interesting. We know that ETH is showing strength, obviously, right? And that is obviously also bullish for the broader altcoin market. But here's your reality check. Not all altcoins are following what ETH is doing, okay? So if you haven't been around before in an alt season, it's not that like people are saying, oh, ETH runs first and everything runs next. We've had this discussion about why ETH has been so bullish lately, but what we're seeing right now isn't necessarily a sign of a full-blown alt season. What we're seeing right now is definitely a narrative-driven mini alt season. Like, yes, ticks the box on that, but we've had many of them this cycle, many of them. Meme coin season was one, right? But right now, what we have is the US ETF narrative coins that are absolutely crushing it. But if we pull up some other alts, like let's go have a look. What should we have a look at? I'll tell you what to have a look at. Like, let's have a look at Arweave, for example, right? I shouldn't laugh, it's mean. So you have a look at Arweave on the daily chart, and like, what is this? Like, it hasn't done anything. It's still ranging. What else can I show you? Probably Audi, I reckon, too. Let's have a look at Audi, probably doing nothing also. Yeah, look. Audi just ranging sideways, doing that. Oh, let's look at, I know, a terrible one. Let's look at Rune. Look at Rune. This looks like it's a rug pull. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to be mean, but look, it's terrible. This looks terrible, right? And even I think Tia as well is another one. Look, Tia's still in a downtrend technically. So yeah, alt season doesn't look like this. Alt season is where basically everything is going up together. But there are examples of lots of coins right now that aren't doing anything, or they're just stuck in sideways ranges, and they just like, to date, they just haven't broken out of their consolidation patterns yet. So yeah, it doesn't tick the box on full-blown alt season, but if your eyes are only focused on the US ETF narrative coins, then yeah, it looks like alt season's here, right? We're definitely in a mini narrative-driven alt season with that specific narrative performing well. I just don't think we can call this an all-out alt season just yet. we need to see broader participation across different sectors and narratives for that to happen. And look, for a true alt season, I would want to see ETH breaking and holding above that multi-year resistance, that 4K level with conviction. I'd want to see broader participation beyond just ETF narrative plays. And I want to see volume expansion across the altcoin market cap, like everything, right? So I think we're getting potentially close, but I don't think we're there quite yet. So with that in mind, how do you trade this? Well, so the stuff that you're in that's good, while the price keeps trending up, just stick with the trend. I'm doing that, but I'm also watching for topping patterns basically every single day. And the key really is to be flexible. Like if we get that deeper pullback from a news event, that might actually be a healthy reset, like the reset that we need for, you know, a stronger move higher. And then, yeah, like again, as long as pullbacks create macro higher lows, then you can get involved. So could be good trading opportunities coming up. Wait for those deeper pullbacks. They will come. And when they do come, then that is the time to act. But whilst everything is like just trending up and they're just having very, very shallow pullbacks, don't try to just pick reversals just because it's moved up. I think that's a mistake. But keep eyes out for topping out patterns. But when you see them, wait for a deeper pullback. Don't just be jumping in on a few percent, you know, pullbacks. You know, you'll be able to get some really good entries, but I do think that this time in the market is going to take some patience. So yeah, so anyway, speaking of trading, I just wanted to let you know that if you are actively trading these moves, you want to make sure that you're on a platform with competitive fees. That's why we've partnered with Weeks Exchange. They've got this exclusive offer just for fans of this channel. And with that offer, you can get VIP2 trading fees for life. Now that equals a 25% discount on your fees on all your trades forever. It really adds up over time. Not to mention they also have right now this awesome deposit bonus of 20%, giving you more money to trade with. So if you deposit like 100, you'll get 20, 500, you get 100, 1,000 gets 200, 2,000 gets 400. Now that deposit bonus, if you're applied for it, it can take up to 72 hours to appear in your account. So if it's not instant, just wait a little bit. It should show up. It is automatic, but they said there's a lot of people redeeming this right now. So go us, but because there's a lot of people redeeming it, there's a bit of a backlog. So just be patient with them, but you will definitely get your bonuses. And anyway, the link's in the description if you want to check them out. All right, let's have a look at some live. Oh, actually, before we have a look at the live charts, I want to show you the liquidation data that I was talking about. So this is on ETH. So see, ETH here has a lot of liquidity up above this 4K level. So again, it's lining up with those short orders. It's lining up with the Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci level. It's just a very, very good level. So yeah, there's a lot of liquidity here. So the move to the upside on ETH may not be over like right now. We may actually get into this level before it starts to happen. Now, it's not exactly 4,000. I would say it's anywhere from 3,940 to say about 4K. Okay, so just keep that range in mind. To the downside, we've got liquidity around 3,600, let's say 650. And then we also have this other pocket around 3.5 and further down around 3K, but that would be a really deep correction. I'm not so sure we would get down to 3K, but we'll wait and see anyway. And then some other things that you can track is open interest. So I use Coinalyze for open interest. And this is again ETH. I'm just focusing on ETH for this purpose, not Bitcoin. But on smaller timeframes, when you zoom out, you can see that there is a little bit of profit taking going in coin futures, coin margined futures contracts, and also stable has been coming down. So that's just basically profit taking at a key resistance. I feel like that's normal. The spot was selling off quite a bit. Sorry. Seems to be rising a little bit now. So we want to see, like when we see altcoins move to the upside, we want to see that upside supported by spot. That's when you know you have a real trend. So yeah, we want to, if we're going to break through that level that we're eyeing off right now, we do want to see this rise, but at the same time, we're seeing the open interest come down. So the combination of these two futures ones right here and the open interest coming down tells me that people are closing positions at resistance, which is just profit taking of smart traders, and that's fine. But you know, where are they going to come back in is the question, I guess. Now on CoinGlass, you can monitor the funding rates. So I said funding rates was another thing we really need to monitor. I only monitor the current, where it says current, because that's really all that matters for what I'm about to tell you. Anything where you see it at about 0.01, like Bitcoin right here, that's a normal funding rate, and basically everything's fine. When you look at ETH price, ETH is still also in the fine area. So we don't have sorry guys, one sec. We don't have peaking funding rates on this yet, which again lends to the idea that maybe we will go up a little bit more, or maybe we will tap in, eventually we'll tap into our zone, because yeah, funding rates aren't peaking. We're not super over leveraged. We've got open interest kind of dropping, so it might come back in if more people participate. And yeah, that's basically all I wanted to show you with that, which means we can, I guess we can go and have a look at some altcoins. So what I wanted to do was basically just see what you guys want me to chart, rather than me just tell you what I want to chart, because yeah, everything I'm already in. I imagine, let me see what's in the comments. Put your requests in the comments if you haven't already. Someone says Bitcoin. I'll look at Bitcoin very quickly, but I feel like I do Bitcoin all the time. In my opinion, Bitcoin's not my concern right now, because I haven't changed my analysis really at all, in the fact that I think Bitcoin is in a, this pattern is called a half Batman. If you know the TTC, yeah, the TTC trading method. This is called a half Batman. If you don't know the TTC trading method, you may want to consider learning it. There is a link in the description down below to our different membership options, but one of the trade setups is this one called a half Batman, and that's essentially what I think we're in, and that should lead to a correction. So the only time that I will change my mind on that is if the price moves back up and recovers this entire red vector right here, and that means price would have to get above 122,100 for me to change my mind on that. So I know we had, on a very small time frame, we had a bit of a move to the upside at the beginning of this week. It was just a move back to the top of the half Batman range, like not losing sleep over it, you know. So anyway, I know people are seeing this range as very, very bullish. Maybe, like, it might break out and maybe this pattern won't play out, but at the end of the day, I trade triggers based off my system, and my system is telling me that this should correct. So I would only be interested in short positions at the top of the range as hedge positions. And if it breaks out, then I lose. What do you want me to say? You know? Okay, let me see what have we got in the, how many people are watching us live? Tell me this. Let me see here. How many people are watching? 1,000 people are watching us live, but only 300 think that I have delivered any form of value. That's mean, guys. That's mean. All right, if I do some of your charts, I need those likes to go up, please. Usually I at least get 50%. This is rude. Okay, let me see. Let me see what else. Everybody wants Pengu. Okay, let's do it. Do I have Pengu in my list is the question. I must have. Yeah, here we go. Oh, that's an M formation all day long. What are you even asking me about? What are you even asking me about? That is a 4-hour M formation all day long. If you are in TTC, are you short on Pengu? Tell me in the comments while I take a sip of my tea so that hopefully I can stop coughing. 1 second. Shorted. One person shorted. Yes, yes. Oh, here, all the comments are coming through now. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Well, good boys and girls. So, okay, let me zoom out and look at this on the higher time frame. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. This is it. This is our you know what this is. This is our secret strategy in TTC. Don't say it if you know what it is. If you're in the community and you know what it is, don't tell, but you know what it is. This is it. So yeah, I can see the thumbs up because you guys do know. So great. Yeah, cool. It's come back to the Binance launch day price. Perfect. So what may happen from here is the pullback. So the 4-hour M that we've seen, the pullback, it may not be tragic. Like it may not be super, super deep. What that M formation may be building is a daily time frame flag. Okay, so I mean, I'm fully like making this up because I don't have enough price action to say this is what's happening, but this is what I would be watching to see if it does happen. And so that would mean that price is just creating the flag now, and we might do something like this. It's still bullish, and then eventually break out. Where would I be looking for buys if I wanted a really good buy on this? Is it this green vector on the daily right here? And that would mean that, actually, let me double check before I give you too many thoughts at one time. Let me check the fib level on that. Yeah, delicious. It's a 50 fib level-ish. It's the halfway mark of the green vector. So I'm talking about this area right here, 0.0277. If we eventually pull back, remember this is a daily chart, so it could take a lot of time. If we eventually pull back, oh, something just flashed on my screen. I'm like, what happened? Then yeah, that'd be great. And then I would expect that it'll break out from there, providing this flag A does happen and B holds. So that means then, if that's the idea, let me get rid of this. Then on the 4-hour time frame M formation, all you would be waiting for now is for the right side of the M to complete. And so if the right side of the M completes, then you should get a lower high, down, another lower high, down, take your profit on your 4-hour short position and flip long. Easy, easy. Very good chart, guys. I like it when you give me high quality charts to look at. I appreciate it. Okay, what else have I got? Stop spamming the chat. Who's spamming the chat? One word for asthma. It's not asthma. It's summer here in Dubai, so the dust is everywhere in the air, and it gets into my throat. And I had all of my aircon ducts cleaned, and I think it's released more dust. So yeah, anyway, I've got all the machines. Don't worry, I'm on top of it, but it's just now I have to heal from it. Solana, what? Does Solana even exist? All right, let's have a look at it. I know that's mean. I know people love Solana. Look how I nailed it, by the way. Look how I nailed it. I gave the community this trade in TTC for this breakout right here. Anyone who had missed the peak formation low, right to the exact target up here. So beautiful trade that was. And now it's pulling back. I wouldn't even call that an M formation, to be honest with you. I would call that a V top, because the second side didn't really come up high enough. And that means that this is one retracement we're into right now, retracement 3. So let's have a look where we might end up. Let's look at 3-month liquidity. Beautiful, nice liquidity around the 200 EMA. We like that. So I'll just mark that. And that would probably be my first zone to worry about, Sol. Yeah, let's see what happens when price gets there, because let's see what happens when price gets there. I think this will be a good area. Let's see how it reacts, because the 4-hour drops won't be finished there. So it could get worse than that, but so I'm not saying that's an automatic buy zone. I'm saying this is the next area where we'll talk about Sol again and make a decision from there. It's not there yet. So apparently we spam the comments. You all have no chill. Okay, what else have we got in here? Wow, there are millions of comments. Okay, wait, let me try and see. Have them change your. I love how you guys give me health advice on a trading channel. I actually genuinely appreciate it because it feels like this is a two-way street. You know, I'm going to help you make money with trading and you can help me improve my health. It's sick. Have them change your filters a few days after cleaning ducks. And the filters matter. You can have cheap filters. And okay, I will do that. Thank you for that advice. All right, TAO. Let's have a look at TAO. Do I have TAO in my list? I don't think I do. No. All right. USDT. Let's look on Binance. That was a Head and Shoulders, wasn't it? Oh, what the hell? Well, why am I on the weekly? That's a weekly W, by the way. Okay, let me zoom out on this. Okay, so downtrend, peak formation low, tried to break, didn't create a higher high, so not great, but then it has created a higher low. So that's a break and retest of the trend line. I'm being lazy, let me draw them. Okay, very easy, break and retest of the trend line. But when you study what actually matters, which is not break and retest of trend lines, you can see that price revisited exactly this vector candle right here, rebalanced that zone and then took off again. But I don't like what's happened since because it's created a lower high since. So if this was going to be a break and retest, it should be bullish from here and it should be creating a higher high. And it's not doing that. So that means we have to investigate further. Okay, and this means I think I want a lower time frame. Yeah, see, this is a Head and Shoulders. This is a Head and Shoulders. Okay, wait. Let's work out some more things. Okay, so this is only like immediate liquidity, right? It's just to give me a bit of a target on the actual move that is happening right now. So it's not high, it's not long-term liquidity, it's the moral of the story. So I think that it's likely it probably will come into this pocket right here just under the 200 EMA. Now, if it doesn't bounce there, so what is that? The 392, then it's coming to take these lower ones too, which will bring it down to the 800 EMA. And that's fine, but that wouldn't be a buy for me because that's only the break of the Head and Shoulders. So it could get worse than that. So yeah, this is a tricky one. Let me see do I need an even smaller time frame? So the peak formation is very clear. The trapped traders are very clear. Hold on, because price didn't return here, okay? So that's the first thing you do. When you're looking at a chart, ask yourself, where are the trapped traders right now? And that means you find the most recent peak formation. Price hasn't returned there, fell away, created the low of the week, came back for a retracement, created a lower high. That makes this drop 1 retracement and this drop 2, which I don't think is over yet. So drop 2 might come into here. And then look, I mean, yeah, it might, it should. If it doesn't, it's leaving this liquidity behind for a reason, and it might come up to take this first. So it might retest maybe 50% high low of the day. Let me draw that out. So if it comes up like that, then that means it's retesting 50 and 200 EMA. It's taking some of this liquidity up here. It's retesting 50% of the high and the low of the day. Then it may come and take that. So if it did it that way, then I would say this is worst case scenario. However, if it goes just straight down there now, that's only level 2 and there's worse to come. Hopefully that made that clear. All right, what else do you want? Injective. Yeah, I'll do Injective. I've been making a killing on Injective because it's just been ranging and that's been perfect. On the daily time frame, it's been ranging. Let me show you here. So Injective has been my favorite because it's been stuck in this range here, a high time frame range, which is a very key level. Like look here, right? It was prior support, prior resistance, come back to resistance. However, I'll tell you why it excites me is because within the range, it's created a higher low. So I think this has potential. It does have potential. It's a risk until it breaks the key level at 1626. But you don't want to get in on a breakout. That's not how I trade anyway. I trade in anticipation of the breakout. So my trading on this started at the higher low after the peak formation. And I will just keep doing that. So I think as long as it maintains that, how do I say this? Market structure. What an idiot. Meaning it continues to create another higher low. I think it will eventually break out. But I also have to be open to this now being the best that it can do. Like if the whole market pulls back, then I think what may happen on Injective is we get the M formation and that takes us back somewhere towards the bottom of the range. The reason why I say that is because of the fact that this candle here has created the inverted hammer at the resistance level. And what that means is that we have trap traders there right now. So if I have that in mind, I want to then go to a lower time frame to see, does it look like they're keeping them trapped? So currently, yes, and I'll tell you why. So when you see a reversal pattern like this, and it's at the top of your range, this means it's trapped some traders. And especially when the right side of it or the top candle of it gives you a vector candle, which if you're new to this channel, by the way, stick with me because the language will make sense eventually. But you may have noticed that the colors of my candles are not normal. If you want to understand it, the moral of the story is that when the candles color any other color, they're the candles we pay attention to. But when they're white and gray, they're not important to us. So if you want to follow along with that and you don't want to join Trade Travel Chill for some strange reason, just go to PVSRA and look for PVSRA candles auto override. You'll see that we created it here, Trade Travel Chill. That's the right one. And it will color your candles as well whilst you're trying to nail this method. But the moral of the story is at a peak formation, when you see something like that, your interest becomes in, like if it was the top candle, your interest becomes that or the candle on the right side of it. So then you just take fib and you mark out the whole candle range there. There are easier ways to do this. I'm just showing you a fast way. So then you just put a line where it says 50% of the fib level, because really all we want to know is what's the halfway mark of that candle, because in order for the candle to change color like this, you get high volume at the start of the candle that starts the momentum. The volume picks up usually around the middle of the candle to get it to close a certain way, and then at the end of the candle, right? So whenever you see a candle like this, the top, the middle, and the bottom becomes our highest level of interest when price returns there. However, the middle is usually the main interest. So when you see, like what we're looking at right now, where the price has not yet been able to return to halfway point of the candle, this is where you start looking out for M formations, basically meaning a lower high. So all you're looking for now is this to go do, that's bearish. Okay, now it may not be there yet because it's in the process of forming this side of the M. So you just wait, you just be patient, put alert on the halfway mark. If it comes back there and you see weakness, you see inverted hammers like this, you see railroad track, you see star formation like this, anything like that, that will tell you that's the second side of the M and you can short that. And we would short that back to within the higher time frame range where we would just be keeping an eye out, because if you have a look at this, there on the higher time frame, there isn't vector candles until down here, which is that was quite a volatile one actually, and that has mostly been recovered already, because look at these candles afterwards, which means that there isn't an unrecovered candle really until back down here, these two candles right here. So that could actually turn out to be a really good short on the provision you get that left side of the M on a lower time frame, right? And then just if it happens, we short it back down to a high volume area, and then we can bag flip it long. Let's just say like the retracement would have to go no lower than this candle. If it did that, we could then bag flip it long, and I would anticipate that if all of that happened, the next time it got to this resistance, it will break out. That's my long-term plan, and I'm sticking to it. All right, how long have I been here with you? Chewing your ear off. Oh, we've got time. Okay, what else do you want next? Let me, quant. Okay, I'm trying to look for coins that I don't always do, because I kind of tend to always do the same ones, and maybe you're not interested in them. So if I'm seeing ones that I always do, I'm not ignoring you, but you have a million charts from me of them anyway. All right. I don't know much about this, so I'm literally just going off what the chart is telling me. I don't know what to say, but I'm not interested in this at all. I mean, look, if I'm looking for positives, it's broken structure. It's created a higher high. It created a higher low, it created a higher high. So that's a good trend. If it comes back to the 200 EMA, that could be a buy, but I'm just not sure how much, like, I don't want to say how much is left in it, because, you know, if it turns into alt season, then there's probably 200x in it. I don't know. But really, your only target is the prior high. So what would have to happen to get a good trade out of this would be, it would have to come back to the 200 EMA, but it would have to stay clear of this vector candle right here. And then let's just say the 200 EMA just travels up like this. See, the other option is it continues to hold the 50 EMA. That wouldn't be enough of a retracement for me, because there's no vector candles here. So there's no high volume areas for it to bounce sharply off. So yeah, it would have to be a 200 EMA kind of deal. And then let's just do a mock-up kind of trade. Let's just say it did come down there. Your stop loss would probably have to go under this range here. And then your target has to go to the last. So what's that? It's a 6 to 1. 6 to 1 on a daily time frame. It's okay. You could probably get a way better risk to reward if you got the entry off a lower time frame. So I'll give you that. But I just, yeah, probably better stuff out there. Okay, what else? I saw someone said XCN. I'm pretty sure, is XCN the one that like you can just never get an entry on, because it's just, is that the one? Let's check. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was. It must be, oh, is it XDC? I think it's XDC. You can never get an entry on because it's just mooning. Stuff like this doesn't excite me. Way too much volatility here. Way too much in the wicks. Unless you fundamentally had a reason to like this, it's in a decent zone where it is now, because you've got a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. As long as it holds this level, it's a decent like spot buy if you fundamentally like this, but I don't know anything about this, so it's not my recommendation. but this higher low at this point in time has bounced off this vector. So it's decent, and I think you have time. Let me look on a smaller time frame. Oh yeah, could be creating a W off that. Yeah, it's worth watching. Okay, what else? XVG. What? Isn't that is XVG Verge? Is that Verge? Is that the altcoin from 2017? Wait, is it? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? XVG. XVG. Verge. What the hell? You guys are bringing back memories. Don't tell me Verge is going to if Verge takes off this cycle, I'm going to laugh my head off. Let's have a look. Look at Verge. How far back does this go, please? Guys, this is memories. If you weren't around, wait, was it 2017 cycle or 2021 cycle? Must be 2020. No, well, I'm sure. Has this been around for that long? Anyway, this was the altcoin of one of the past alt seasons, and it just went crazy. I'm not even sure if it was on another exchange, maybe. But this is making me laugh that it was even mentioned. No, I wouldn't touch this. I would not touch this. Double top here. It's tried to break trend. The higher low is hardly a higher low, and then it's got a double top. Nah, I'd rather trade things a little bit better than this. John Higgins says 2017. It is, right? This chart doesn't show it all the way back there, but I swear it's been around that long. AVAX. All right, I'll do AVAX. Oh, no, it was a spot chart, so it should have shown it. Okay, what's happening here? Wait, why aren't you loading? Do I have it here? Yeah, we're safe. There's a beautiful daily W formation, and it's made it to the top of the center peak of the W just at a glance. So that's a very, very good start. A nice pullback would be fine from here. Maybe a 50 EMA even could give you an entry. I like it. I do like it, providing it holds the daily time frame 50 EMA. So if you're wanting a decent pullback, I think this must have been a previous target of mine, probably on a lower time frame, like a previous initial target, not final target. So yeah, if it comes back and it holds this range, then I would target up to the same target still. I like it. What else? Sui. Not a fan myself, but I'll look at it. Do I have it on here? Yeah. Oh, wait, do I want the perp chart? Yeah. Yeah, it's barely a higher high, and then that's the prior high. So there's not a huge risk reward in it. I think there are better options out there. If you're already in it though, like it may get back to the target, but looking for new entries, look, unless it came back to the 200 EMA and held there, because again, there's a vector there, that could be. So that's between about $3 and $3.50. But yeah, I don't think it's the biggest trade, to be honest. Litecoin. Everybody's going for the altcoins. You're making me so proud. LTC. All the coins the other channels say they're dino coins. Don't worry about them. Well, they're making us money, aren't they? So we will worry about them. Thank you very much. My charts are starting to slow down. So I think I don't know why. Actually, let me close off some other tabs. Maybe that will speed it up. If I close up, wait, before I do that, let me see how much you're appreciating this video now. 719 and 1,000 watching. That's way better. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Okay. It's still not coming. Wait, let me refresh. No, not that one. Litecoin we want. Here we go. Okay, so the problem again also with Litecoin is you would have to have a deep pullback in order for the risk to reward to be worth it. If you're wanting to enter the trade, if you're already in it, the target is your prior high. Look, 1, 2, 3. That's very obvious. That's your initial target, by the way. Of course, depends on how long the cycle goes for and whatnot. It may pull back a little bit now because it is looking a little bit toppy. It has created a higher high. Look, it's still above the 20 EMA, so I'm not saying it's going to pull back today, but at some point soon it should. And when it does, I would be keeping an eye around the 50 EMA and this vector candle right here. And then again, if it comes there and we see buyers into that zone, then see, this is looking a little bit similar to SUI to me. That's why it's not my interest. Because yeah, unless it breaks out, it's not going to turn into a huge trade. But if you believe that it will go above this level, then that would be a good entry. So somewhere around 94, look, 94 to 103. All right, let me do, did I do ADA already? Oh, Ina, I covered Ina in Discord and nobody gave me any credit for it. And I mean, I'm so annoyed with you guys because it was such a good trade. And I also posted it on a Saturday, which is my only day off. And I got you guys the best entry and I got nothing, nothing out of it. So screw you all and screw Ina. But no, we will have a quick look at it. Where is it? Here. See here. Okay, so let me go down to a smaller time frame. Here, this was the trade. This was the trade that I just got no love. I got no love for this trade. Look, Saturday the 12th of July. Took the day, I missed my day off to make you money. And you gave me nothing. But anyway, so I would say this Elliott wave is complete. I would expect a correction now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we get a lower high, the correction on this is coming. And yeah, let it happen. And if it comes, new entry, like new setup. I think this is done. So yeah, we'll look for a new setup, but we need to see the lower high to know. Let's see if we have any. I don't think we do. If we have access to the, oh, we do. Look, I would like to see a deep correction on this because if you think about it, because that's a perfect Elliott wave. So if we got a A, B, C usually comes back somewhere around here. Yeah, all right. Let's mark this vector here out as our initial area of interest if the pullback does in fact come. So that's between 0.5 to 0.53. I'm not saying that's an automatic buy. I would like to look at this again there. So I'm just telling you that this would be an area to set an alert on. And then next time I live stream, just remind me and we'll look at it again if it's hit the zone. There was one more I was going to look at for you guys. Was it ADA? I think it was ADA you guys asked for. Oh, it's in the zone. Oh, okay. It's in the zone now. What have I got drawn? Oh, nice. This is setting up for something potentially in the future very good. Is that English? Was that English? I don't know. It's getting to the time that I'm getting delusional. But I like this. Let's test if these liquidity zones are still valid. We can tighten them up now. Okay. So this gives me a very good idea, guys. This is the coin of the show. Okay, I'm going to change the title to ADA after this. No, I'm not. But Here's why I'm so excited over this. You have an initial trend up. You have a very long period of a very wide consolidation, as that consolidation created multiple touches to a support and also lower highs. That gives you a retail pattern called an ascending triangle, and an ascending triangle aggressive entry for a breakout, which is what should happen next, because it should continue from the prior trend, and the prior trend was bullish. So what should happen for an aggressive trader is they would take an entry on a higher low within the triangle, whereas most retail traders are taught to wait for the triangle to break out, wait for a retest, and then get in. That in the TBD system is called level 2 rise. And so level 2 rise is where retail jumps into positions based off being taught what I just told you, waiting for breakout and retest. So what happens before a breakout and retest is the trend is changed, which is here, the higher high. Okay, now what will confirm the trend change will be a higher low. So for us, that will be a rise level 1. And so that's where we like to get our entries, because if we're in before retail realizes that they should get in, then the retail money drives our trade further into profit. So therefore, but also that means it's higher risk, okay? Because if retail doesn't step in, the trade won't play out. So, disclaimer there. But based on this idea, now we marry that. Sorry. I'm getting too excited with my information. Now we marry that with the idea of the TBD system rules, which is once we've broken through 50 and 200 EMAs, we expect price to retest them at some point and hold as support. We also look for, in moves, vector candles to form, so the colored candles that I told you about, and we look for zones of liquidity. Now, when you get all three of those things in the same area, you have 3 levels of confluence. Confluence for that to be a very good entry. So this whole zone, based on that, if you look at it, is the yellow is the 200 EMA, the blue is the 50 EMA, the liquidity zone is here between 0.65 and 0.78, and we've got these 2 vector candles. So now if you mark that whole area right there where those vector candles are, we mark them out as an area of interest. All we're waiting to do is to see if price comes down again into around about the halfway mark, but it can be the halfway mark of each of these candles separated because there's 2 together. So you have to adjust that at the time. But if Cardano comes down into this zone now, that's going to be the zone to start watching for buyers to step in. But you won't be watching them on the daily time frame. You will then jump down to probably the 1 hour. And maybe you'll even be able to see on the 1 hour or the 15 minutes, you might see 3 levels of drop. And so if you see them and you see like a 15-minute W formation and it happens to be around this area, that's going to end up being your daily time frame high or low, and that's going to be a killer entry in anticipation of Cardano breaking out next. So I'm going to leave it there because I think that was killer information that you should re-watch this video and write down those rules. And yeah, just stick with it. We're going good right now. Check out Weeks if you're looking for somewhere to trade, and consider joining us over at Trade Travel Chill. I'm going to be going live more often. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me.